In a world full of noise, two voices rise above the chaos. Ron and Brian. They speak truth. They stir thought. They accidentally help. News, nonsense, and necessary self-care. Join the cult of Ron and Brian, because the work is so important.
All right, here we are, folks. It is Sunday night, our annual post-Thanksgiving podcast. It's episode 381, folks. And I, as always, am joined by my fellow human, Brian. Brian, how the hell are you this evening?
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you, for everybody in the chat, the people watching. I'm thankful for everything I have. I'm thankful to the lady. I'm thankful for this amazing new background that we have.
Woo-hoo,
You're gonna hype it up? You're gonna hype it?
As we often talk about, we take the money that we make in our Patreon, which we will push later on. We put that back into the podcast. We reached out to some local artists, said we need a different vibe for our background than we currently have. We came back with a bunch of submissions, paid for them all, but picked this one, I think, to be the new background moving forward. And I think it just brings a lot of je ne sais quoi to the podcast moving forward.
I like it.
All right. Well, since we're so thankful, should we just get rolling into it as we always do, Brian, with Drink of the Week?
Drink of the Week.
Na zdrowie.
Salud. Drink of the Week.
Sláinte.
Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week.
Brian, what are you drinking this week?
Ron, this week I went all the way up to Boston, Massachusetts, visited some family for Thanksgiving. As I said,
Wicked
I'm
awesome.
just grateful. Wicked. It was a pizza dormy. However, one of the important things you always have to do when you are in Boston is drink some local beer. Boston's got a very flourishing brewery culture, if you would, almost as strong as Philadelphia's. New York does not have a strong brewery scene. We like to drink our Bud and Bud Light, but you know what? That's why I left. That's why I'm in Jersey. Anyway, this week, the kind folks over at Night Shift Brewing were able to hook me up with a 4-pack of their teddy beer. Ron, this is a peanut butter porter. It's a special collaboration with their good friends and Everett neighbors, Teddy Peanut Butter. That's right. Apparently, they make their own peanut butter in Everett, Massachusetts. Teddy beer sips with aromas of nutty toffee and peanut butter candy, leading into rich flavors of dark chocolate, cocoa, and roasted peanut butter. It's just glorious. It's got a 5.8 ABV. Unfortunately, Beer Advocate has yet to assign this a score. So you know what we say? Fuck you, Beer Advocate. We don't give a shit. We don't need you. However, one thing I do want to point out, the kind folks over at Night Shift Brewing, this is part of their Share the Night series. They pointed out to me that this is a collection of beers to give back to the community with every sale. So as we are enjoying this delicious beer, also know we are doing good at the same time, because $1 from every 4-pack of teddy beer is donated to the Greater Boston Food Bank. So not only am I drinking quality beer, well, hopefully it's quality, I'm also helping the community. Ron, cheers to you and to the kind folks over at Night Shift Brewing.
Brian's taking a deep sip of that while helping the less fortunate out there. Brian, how is it? I tend to find sometimes these peanut butter beers, you're not getting the peanut flavor. Do you feel like you have nuts in your mouth right now? Sorry.
Can I get a real apology?
I'm
that
sorry,
was offensive.
Brian. I apologize. Anyway, how is the beer?
It's a porter. This is not a heavy beer. This is not going to weigh me down. I may have a second one just because I've got the 4-pack in the fridge. but as you said, not heavy peanut butter. It is light. You do pick up on it, but it is in the background. What's in the foreground? That cocoa, the rich porter flavor. I don't know. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm
All
not
right.
really a huge porter fan. I like it when I check into a hotel and somebody takes my bags from, the taxi. I like that. That's what I'm more of a fan of porters.
Since you
Um,
are from the 30s when they used to refer to that position as a porter, makes sense. Oh, he's going back for another sip.
Ron, as much as your hatred fuels me, and it helps reiterate just in my brain why my anger towards you is justified. I
Right.
do want to ask you a very important question, which is,
Sure.
what are you drinking?
Brian, I'm drinking somewhat local as well. Going to the good folks at Fegley's Brew Works in Pittston, Pennsylvania. It is that time of year, Brian. As we mentioned, Thanksgiving is in the rearview mirror. We are strictly in Christmas mode right now. That's right. We don't say Happy Holidays here. We say Merry Christmas. And what better way to prepare for Christmas than a can of Fegley's Rude Elves Reserve? This is a Belgian-style ale brewed with spices, kicking in at a 10.5% alcohol. That's right. You know what it means, folks? It's going to be a good after dark tonight with our Patreon. Let's have a sip right here.
As he takes a sip, let's see what he's. Oh!
So,
That was a.
So I will say this. This has sat in my fridge since last Christmas because I didn't drink all of them. So I believe this has aged a little bit in the can. I'm going to say this is clocking in at a higher alcohol content than 10.5 right now. So a great flavor, definitely getting a bit of a kick at the end of it.
Tell me the flavor and what's the kick.
So it's smooth, number one, very smooth. You definitely are getting like the cinnamon, the clove, the star anise in that flavor. And then you just get that punch of alcohol towards the end that just wakes you right up.
Okay. I like it.
And people are
like
excited,
it.
Brian. Janelle's looking forward to Sloppy Ron. Johanna's looking forward to Sassy Ron. I will be defeated tonight, even though I am not having it's can you beat Brian, but somehow I will lose. What are you going to do? But in the meantime, Brian, let's keep things rolling along.
Keep it rolling.
With Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
I'll tell you what's bothering me, Ron, today. And it's been bothering me for days now. It's the gentleman that I sat next to on the Amtrak train going up to Boston who had a runny nose and refused to blow his nose. And I sat next to him for about 4 hours as every 5 minutes I heard this noise. And it irritated the living fuck out of me. It's Ron. It is. We're coming up on the winter. We're not there yet. This is not officially winter yet, people.
Not quite.
There's going to be colds flying around. People are going to get the flus. There will be some pneumonias. It is important that you carry a pack of tissues. It is very important. No, Billy, I'm not going to get COVID again. Why? Just because
you got the
2
jab.
weeks ago. I got the Moderna jab. I am flowing with the gold standard. The gold standard. But it's just carry some tissues. Be aware, or if you're a man from the 1930s, carry a handkerchief.
I mean, norovirus is back out there, Brian. You got to be careful for all these things moving forward.
Don't just sit there and sniffle your watery mucus right back down into your throat. Just blow your nose. Be an adult. So I had my headphones on because you know me. I like to put my headphones on.
Sure.
But like every couple of minutes, there would be a lull in a song, or there would be that space between song. And it was just I literally wanted to stab him. Also, it also bothered me that he had a little porn mustache, like one of those ironic porn mustaches, because
Sure.
he was like in his like I would say probably like late 20s, and he was reading some book on acting, but he literally looked like he had volunteered for Mom Donnie's campaign. Lives in Bushwick, Brooklyn, in some type of polyamorous like quadrant, with the 7 people living in his apartment building. It was just utterly
Pronouns
disgusting.
are they, them.
Never, no. He was clearly a guy, but some
No,
of the
I'm
people
not saying that.
in that, yes,
I'm just saying
correct.
he identifies as a they. So just be careful.
Oh, just could not fucking blow his. I mean, just it got to a point like halfway through where I started to do this.
Which for you is about as close to a confrontation as you'll do in public. Like
So
look in
true.
someone's direction is the maximum that you will do.
yes. And I don't think he ever noticed it. Just kept sniffling, and it just drove me up the wall. That is,
Excellent question. Still asking, why didn't you offer him a tissue?
Because I'm a handkerchief guy. I've got my handkerchief. I came prepared. At one point, I even just because I'm so passive, but I'm so aggressive at the same time, I took out my handkerchief and pretended to blow my nose. I didn't even have to go blow my nose. I was feeling
just in
fine.
the hopes that it would trigger him to be like, oh yeah, this is something that people do.
It just irritated the shit out of me. However, I would like to pat myself on the back and say I did not go find the cafe car and drink 2 Dogfish Head 90-minute IPAs, which I know they have on the Amtrak trains. I did not. I behaved. I behaved.
All right. Kudos to you, my friend.
Ron?
Yes.
What's bothering you?
Well, you predicted it last week, Brian, and your prediction has come true. My beef of the week last week was ADP and the way they were handling my 401k. And you said, I bet that'll be your beef of the week again next week. And sure enough, Brian, when we last left off, your
401k funds were missing.
My 401k funds were missing. I had emailed our customer service manager. Did not hear back. Emailed her twice more this week, Brian. Do you think I heard back?
You have to have.
No, have not. Eventually, my one of my bosses got in touch with me and they were like, oh, ADP reached out. They said you didn't do it in time. And I was like, no, my friend. I'm like, I've got the receipts showing I did it in time. He's like, agreed, they suck. So now they have rolled my 401k off into a completely different company. That I now have to reach out. I now have to reach out to this completely different company to get that money rolled back into 401k, into ADP. So let's follow the money, Brian. Let's follow the money.
It's very important you follow the money. Got to follow the money.
My 401k was supposed to be moving from the closed account into the open account at ADP. They said, you know what? Let's make this even easier for our customer. We'll just roll it into a completely different company whatsoever. So now he has to reach out to that company and roll it back in.
Wow, I would be furious.
I'm my rage, and I almost, they gave me a phone number to call on Wednesday, and I was like, you know what, like I'm just gonna eat my rage. I'm just gonna push it deep down inside, and that will be a Monday thing to deal with. And so Monday it will be. But I
will say this
that ground my gears.
First off, to me, there's an IRS issue here because it is a 401k that they've got. This is there are regulations what the IRS allows and allows. I'm shocked by this, and I need an update tomorrow because this is wild to me as somebody in the HR world. Just wild,
wacky stuff that is.
Absolutely. Ron, I would like to ask you, it was Thanksgiving this past weekend, a weekend, as much as I know you like to say thanks, I also know you like to give. So I was just wondering, how did you and your lovely lady, help your community on Thanksgiving? I know it is an annual tradition. The two of you, you wake up, you start working on the sides, you put the turkey in the oven, and then you volunteer for one of the many, many charities in the Philly adjacent area. I know there was about a decade there where you went over to Bill Cosby's house and you helped throw out some of the half drunk glasses and put them in the dishwasher, helped escort some of the groggy women out of his house to, into an Uber. You've had so many different activities. How did you give to the community on Thanksgiving this year?
Brian, why don't we cut through all the subterfuge and you can just talk about how you donated your time to the needy on Thanksgiving morning.
Wow. First off, thanks, Ron. I don't know if hero is really the right word here, but it's pretty darn close. That's right. I woke up on Thanksgiving. My sister came down from the bedroom upstairs. I was already sitting in the living room. She said to me, hey, hope you don't mind, but I volunteered to go deliver some Thanksgiving meals today. And you know me, immediately my heart melted. Like some people, I don't want to say like you, some people would have sat there and immediately started coming up with excuses on how to walk out of it, on how to sit there and say, oh,
it would have been like, oh, the gout's acting up. I don't know that I'll be able to make that trip.
I thought I was going to be able to, but now I have to go pick up my kid who's, in Everett. And, I no longer have the time to be, but you know what? I went with her. It was run by the United Way. The gentleman mentioned to us that they were making and delivering 1,300 Thanksgiving Day meals. Wow. That is a lot of people in this economy and with this administration. The support for those who need is just it's drying up. So it was so nice to see so many people were helping out. First off, to the kind people who live in the Framingham Housing Authority apartments. Oh yeah, this was before 2 p.m. Oh, this was like 10:30.
I believe that's the 2 p.m. Billy reference going on right there.
Oh wow, right over my head. 2 p.m. Billy. Did you donate $900? No. I did not see refrigerated trucks. So we and I'm imagining these are people that are living in whatever like the equivalent of the projects are, city housing. And Jesus Christ, some of this was rough, and not rough as in like criminal. I didn't feel safe, but just like the level of shut-ins. I believe I sent you a photo. One of the women who we were delivering a meal to had a sign on her door that said, there are over 24 mouse traps underneath my furniture. Be careful if you are going to reach underneath my furniture. Who the fuck is reaching under her furniture? Why does she have 24 mouse traps? And the woman opened the door. She had birds all over the place. They were flying around in the background. Looked like her hair hadn't been washed in about a month and a half. You ever see those people where like the hair comes down and instead of just coming down, it actually follows the contour of your head because there's so much oil in it that it's weighted down. Oh, the smell coming out of these apartments. There's just the stale air, like they were practically shut-ins. And here I was giving up my time on Thanksgiving Day to ensure that they had a hot meal of turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, some sides, some cornbread. They were very appreciative. My sister and I felt so good after the first run that we went back, got online again, and did another round of deliveries.
So how many meals did you end up delivering in total?
We delivered 21 meals across the Framingham area.
You got 21 meals. There was 1,300. Yeah, so you delivered 1.6% of the meals that were being donated.
And you know what, Ron? You delivered zero. You sat on your fucking ass all day, and you sat there with your little bread cheese dip bowl, being like,
"Oh, it was a bread dip. It was dill dip and a hollowed out sourdough bread." The presentation was fantastic.
I never
the only
saw
thing
a photo.
Better than the presentation was the taste. You ignorant slut.
Okay, first off, never saw a photo. Nobody, you as far as I know, it was never made. Never made.
Well, regardless, kudos to you and your
Thank you.
sister for taking time out of your holiday to help those in need.
I see all the people in the comments down there pointing out what a hero I am. I'm not the hero.
They're
It's just
flying too quick. We would share these comments, but it's literally like you think of
there's
like a
so
slot
many
machine
so
and how
rapidly.
just going too quick.
Though it was actually it was an interesting what's the word I'm thinking of? Dichotomy. Yeah, it was a dichotomy because as we were driving around on that second run, my sister texted her kids to be like, "Hey, we're going to stop off at Starbucks. Do you guys want anything?" So then it was like my niece and my nephew arguing over what drinks they wanted. Like it was,
Do you want
it was just
oat
like,
milk? Do you want almond milk? Can I get a cake pop with that?
yes. My nephew was like, "Oh, can I get a peppermint hot chocolate?" And then I was like, "What size?" He was like, "Oh, large." And then my sister was like, "No, you're gonna get medium." And it was just like, and then we're going to see people who literally, I mean, to say they have nothing. It was just
That
very
brings up a
sad.
good point. You were also the first person to donate plasma during the pandemic.
Listen, when I had the naturally occurring antibodies, what was one of the first things I did, Ronnie? You just pointed out. I went to go donate those antibodies in the form of my plasma to ensure that other, when Donald Trump, he got the plasma therapy when he tested positive for COVID. A lot of people said he was close to death before he was doing that COVID antibody
Could
plasma
have been your
treatment.
plasma.
Could have been my plasma that saved Donald Trump's life. You guys should be thanking me for that. Thank you very much, Ron. You didn't have to bring up the fact that I did that on Thanksgiving. I really didn't even want to talk about it.
I know you're too humble to do it yourself. That's why I needed to bring it up. Let's move on to our stories of the week. As our longtime listeners know, we find a couple of stories that we want to make sure doesn't fall through the cracks. Brian, what is your story of the week this week?
Ron, my story of the week takes us into the world of female bodybuilding. So recently, the world's strongest woman competition realized that their initial winner was transgendered when and that is how the New York Post is referring to it, as super. So they must be really happy with the level of anyway. Graphic porn videos started swirling online, according to the runner-up, who has now been crowned champion. Jamie Booker, 28. Do we have a photo of Jamie Booker? Absolutely, Jamie. So Jamie Booker was sensationally disqualified last Tuesday after organizers announced she had violated the official strongman/strong woman games world championship rules by not competing in the category that was aligned with her biological sex. Ron, I know you have a lot of strong opinions on transgenders competing in gender-specific competitions. I don't necessarily agree with you. I think we need to be a little bit more open-minded. This story is something that I know you're going to use against me. Nobody knew that Booker was transgendered until online sleuths started sharing graphic images from her past life as a hardcore porn star, according to Andrea Thompson, the British lifter who only got her rightful title as world's strongest woman after Booker was disqualified. It was coming from an adult entertainment website. Coming, obviously, keyword there. Let's put it that way. Very, very explicit pictures and videos of this person, which then obviously put her gender into question. According to New York influencer who runs the site Goob, they linked Booker to an adult film star who went by the name Jamie J. So it is scandalous. And in some of these movies, I won't even give you some of the titles. But thankfully, I did not look up to see any of these videos.
Of course not. Of course not. Well, that's a shame, Brian. We've often talked about transgender athletes. I know you'll probably continue to do the high level of research into transgender porn as you have for the previous 380 episodes. So,
of course,
I look forward to hearing what additional you learn from your viewing.
I will I will report back during After Dark.
Sounds good.
Because that's really the that's where we talk about that stuff.
It is the saucier stories.
Yeah.
Brian, if I may present my story of the week, we do love ourselves a story out of Florida where a man was arrested after he allegedly staged a drug deal in order to confront a man he believed sold vapes to his daughter. This is a mugshot of 40-year-old Alan Olson of Volusia County, Florida. He was taken into custody after he reportedly confronted a man who had allegedly sold a THC cartridge to his 15-year-old daughter. Authorities said Olson had taken the law into his own hands after he learned about the alleged deal by looking through his daughter's phone. He then reportedly ordered a marijuana vape pen from the alleged dealer and arranged to meet him at a Circle K location, allegedly bringing a handgun along. The dealer, identified only as Cameron, arrived with his pregnant girlfriend, and Olson reportedly confronted him about the sale to his daughter, which scared both Cameron and his girlfriend. Cameron and his girlfriend then fled the area in their car, allegedly ran a red light and crashed into another vehicle, fleeing then on foot.
Ooh.
Exciting stuff. So now Olson returned to the Circle K afterwards to speak with police and was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Police would like to remind people that the ideal thing to do when you feel a crime has been committed is to contact the police and not take the law into your own hands.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Would you? Because you seem you give kind of a vigilante edge. Just in general, your attitude speaks someone that is going to go out there and take care of business by themselves.
You know, if that were the case, I would have told this man to blow his nose, but I didn't. I just stared at him. So clearly, though, it was funny because on the train ride coming back on Saturday, they did give an announcement that basically it was the quiet car conversation is to be kept to a minimum and left at library volume. Please, if there is somebody speaking loud or continuously, please see a Amtrak employee to address the situation. Please do not contact the offending passenger yourself. Don't take matters into your own hands. Please contact an Amtrak representative on the train. So clearly something had gone on, and I was upset I was not in the quiet car.
All right, fair enough. Moving on, Brian, you remember this gentleman right here, pitchman for the ShamWow back in the early 2000s, had some issues after he shot to fame for the ShamWow infomercials. Some allegations of harassment, physical altercations. He was arrested in Miami Beach in 2009 after an alleged violent altercation with a sex worker. Well, now, Brian, he has filed to run for Congress in Texas as a Republican. The filing submitted under his name offer Vince ShamWow Shlomi. He told Fox News Digital in an interview that his decision to run for office was motivated by a desire to, quote, destroy wokeism and as a tribute to the late Charlie Kirk. Now, it's shocking. He's 61 years old now, Brian. I didn't realize he was that old. But he is aiming to 61.
Yikes!
This is an old photo, but even the most up-to-date photos looks good for 61. He is aiming to unseat Congressman John Carter, the 84-year-old incumbent who is seeking re-election in the district. Interesting that you can be 61 and be the kid running to take the old guy's seat.
Well, that tells you everything you need to know about Texas politics.
Yes, it does. Brian.
Now, here's the question. Did you ever purchase and try out the ShamWow?
I did not. I did not see a need for the ShamWow. I had cloths. I had towels. I rarely trusted anything sold via infomercial.
Yet you have spent and lost so much money on other online products that you went out and purchased that you either never received or received. It was not quite up to the skill. I mean, I remember in the early days of this podcast, we were tracking different things that you had purchased. What was the website
Sure.
that
It was Kickstarter.
Kickstarter? Yes.
There was a coffee machine, and I forget what there was the coolest.
I remember
That
the
was
cooler. I
the
remember
other
the
one. Yeah.
cooler.
So, needless to say, I have not purchased anything off of Kickstarter since the early days of this podcast.
Are they still? Is it still active? Because I've not
Yeah.
heard anybody talk about Kickstarter
Yeah.
in years.
They're still them and Indiegogo is still plugging away.
Hey, good for them. I mean, I'm sure there's some legitimate products there. You just seem to have gotten shafted more than once, which is also your reputation when you were in college.
Fair enough. I can't deny that. Next up, Brian, an adjunct faculty member at George Mason University was fired after openly drinking alcohol with undergraduate students in class a couple of weeks back. The university not releasing any names, but they did say it launched an internal investigation alongside a police investigation. Multiple sources at GMU confirmed this situation that put one student in danger when an undergraduate apparently drank so much in class that they passed out and an EMS was called in to help.
They needed an EMS. Jesus,
Apparently,
that's embarrassing. Yes. Fucking lightweight in school.
So this was in the poli-sci department. That was you. You were a political science major, weren't you?
I would say poli-sci minor. I was a history major. Yes, yes.
So this adjunct faculty member invited undergrad students to bring alcohol to class for end of semester student presentations. He then drank with the undergraduates, but turned out very poorly. And now he's been removed from his position there. Brian, have you ever drank with any of your college professors?
I believe there was one professor I had that would go to the college bars and drink. And I think I had a drink with him at the bar. Otherwise, I don't believe I ever drank with any of my college professors.
Fair enough. I think one time I took Dutch in college because you had to take remember you had to take a foreign language in your first year or so, and Dutch was the only language that didn't require you to get up at like 8:30 in the morning. It was like a noon class. Okay. And I remember our professor was like very close in age to all of us, and so we would see her out at the bars drinking. So I had a drink with my Dutch professor one time.
The question is this: did you pay the bill, or did you guys go Dutch?
Hey-o! Yeah, I teed it up for you. I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Oh, God. I've reached that level where wordplay and dad humor just comes so naturally to me. And whereas before I would sneer at it and think, Brian, be better. No, right now I dive head first.
You're living your best life. You're living your best life. Brian.
So well, here's the question. I know you're trying to move on, but I want to stick into this. So you had a drink with a female professor who was similar to your age.
Correct.
Did it go anywhere? Did it,
it did not. No.
Did you want it to go somewhere? Did you think about it at all?
She was an attractive woman, but I felt she was too worldly. I felt like, a lot. And yes, are you asking about armpit hair? Yes, there was armpit hair.
Yes.
That's a European thing. And listen, more power to you if that's your style, but wasn't a fan.
No, not a fan of the armpit hair. Absolutely not. Nothing was a turn off than when you're sitting there, talking to a woman and she just goes, "Oh, I know what you're talking," and she just scratches the back of her neck and you just see like this, like, oh, nasty. And don't get me wrong, people, same is true with dudes. I'm not a fan of the armpit hair. Like when I see a dude go like this and it's just like, it's like buckwheat's head coming out.
I shave. I think my armpit hair looks gross. So you got to
the last time I was over there and I asked for a glass of water, you made me lick your armpits for 3 minutes before you would let me get a glass of water. So I know all well how smooth you are over there.
Next up, Brian, and I know this story has been fascinating to you about Travis Turner, head coach of Union High School in Big Stone Gap, Virginia. He is in the right of this photo here. Brian, you've been following this story like nobody's business. Talk to me about what has happened in this story so far.
Okay, now I don't have the story open on my computer right now. I'm going to ask you to fact check me. But what's most interesting to me about this story is that the New York Post was all over this story this past week. And yet I got my news on the story from TikTok before the Post even got it. You're laughing, Ron, but I want to me.
No, I
this is a
believe you.
perfect
That's where I
example.
get the majority of my news now is TikTok.
This is a perfect example of how social media now is actually operating faster than the mainstream media. I watched this. The first reference I had to this story was I was on TikTok and I saw a female content creator who was talking about a missing high school football coach, and saying that he was basically running from the law, that there were the people in the local town were talking about allegations that had been made against him for child porn, and that he was missing. And I was just like, ooh, that's pretty creepy. Next thing I know, later on that day, I'm on the New York Post website, and they have this story, a tragic story about a desperate wife pleads to the media for the safe return of her loving husband, who happens to be a successful football coach in this small town, wherever, somewhere in America, that the team was somehow like undefeated. And it was basically like, in the running for like a state championship or some type of local title. And out of nowhere, the coach goes missing and the family is just heartbroken. They're terribly worried about him. They're not sure what happened to him. Whoever is holding him, please let him go. He needs to come home. He's got a family. So I'm like, I wonder if that's the story from the TikTok that I saw earlier about a guy, coach who's, running from the law. So the New York Post, about 24 hours goes by. I'm looking at it again. They're still referencing him as this like hero football coach. His players are missing him. Now, like the next day, the article was like the son. This guy's son was being interviewed. And he was talking about, I just want my dad. I want my dad back. Please, wherever he is, come back. On day 3, suddenly the New York Post sits there and says, because the thing is this, the New York Post, we know this, conservative, Rupert Murdoch, Fox News, to them, there is nothing more tragic than a white suburban, their message is to scare white suburbans.
Like the first couple of days, they were convinced that a illegal migrant worker granted asylum under the Biden administration probably had killed this man.
Yes, and that was the narrative that they were holding out for. And then on day 3, suddenly it was that he had recently been contacted by the authorities in regards to some allegations. And then I was just like, damn it, TikTok had it. 3 days ago, they told me that this guy was being hunted for child porn, and that's why he went missing. So suddenly on day 5, now suddenly the story comes out that he was contacted, and this is how you know white male privilege. White male privilege is when the police find that you have child porn on your phone, your computer, or whatever. They reach out to you in advance to say, "Hey, I'm Detective
Surrender."
Yeah, I'm Detective Ron from Philadelphia adjacent police department. We'd like you to come down to answer some questions in regards to some suspicious activity we're tracking on your internet." This guy just disappears right after that fucking phone call. Disappears. Nobody knows where he is. He's just vanished. And what I found so fascinating about this story was how the New York Post and mainstream media, this was, it's not as if like CNBC and though CNBC wouldn't be talking about this story, MSNBC or CNN, they weren't talking about it on in the first 2 days as this was a guy running from the law. But the New York Post really clung. They were talking to family members, how they clung to this idea that this was an American tragedy. We all, this was like another Natalie Holloway. We, missing white person. We got to make this a big story. And then like on day 5, they were like, oh yeah, he was a pedophile who was into child porn. Yeah.
By the way.
And then the wife and the kid just, I mean, can you imagine being his family right now?
What was also interesting to me is even after the child pornography allegations came out, how all of the news stories had to work in the fact that he was coaching an undefeated high school football team. Like, if the team had been like 4-7, okay, we get it. You're looking at child porn, but buddy, you've got an undefeated high school team in the middle of nowhere. What
adult porn?
What itch isn't that scratching?
Why? Yeah, if you're coaching a successful football team, why do you need to watch kiddie porn? Yeah,
and he still has not been captured yet. Correct? He's
dead. He is absolutely dead.
You think he ended his own life?
Who was the guy, Brian, whatever, that killed himself in the state forest after he?
It was Gabby Petito and Brian Laurie.
Ooh, I think you're right on that one. Yeah, this guy went into a park and killed himself, guaranteed. There's too much,
A lot of mountains out there, though. You can definitely hide in the Appalachians.
Do you think this guy has that life skill set? I mean, remember the dude that blew up the Atlanta Olympics and then was taking out abortion clinics? That dude was in the forest for years. They finally found him, but he at least had that skill set.
This man was coaching an undefeated high school football team. You don't think he could live in the mountains for a while?
Undefeated. You would think that he would have enough masturbatory material that he did not require child pornography. He could have just went like, "Oh, show me that touchdown again. Yeah, rewind. Let me see that touchdown. Oh, victory. Oh, Don 2 victory." I wonder what their victory song was. Here we go. Our team is victory. And we want to watch little boys getting fucked on porn.
See, you would think the theme song would have cued people off right away.
Also, more importantly, are they still undefeated? Who's the interim coach now?
So the last I heard, they did end up going 12-0. They won their last game of the season after the coach disappeared.
Did it for Coach Tucker.
Preparing for state playoffs.
Can we bet on that on FanDuel? Does FanDuel allow that?
That's
next.
Have to go
to draft
you have to imagine eventually we're only a couple years away from being able to bet on high school sports.
Can't wait. I hope we get to a point where we can just start betting on who's going to be caught for child porn possession.
I think Kalashi, you might be able to bet that. So we'll have to check that out.
Okay. Scott Kingsley from upstate New York Republican Convention.
Allegedly.
That will be
allegedly.
Oh no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying he is. Oh God, no.
Right.
I'm saying I would bet that he has it.
Got it. A bodybuilder
the odds are real strong. Ooh.
A bodybuilder who injected petroleum jelly into his biceps to make them freakishly large, getting him nicknamed the, quote, Russian Popeye, may now lose both arms because of a severe infection. Kirill Terashin, age 29, has been told he may need a double amputation after years of injecting them with synthol, according to reports and his native Russia last week. The gym goer shared stomach churning footage of how his bicep had burst, leaving a large hole with rotting tissue underneath. You can kind of see from this photo the discoloration in his arms. However, this is the photo that they're talking about from his video that he shared, where you can see the stitching in the back of his arm from when his bicep apparently exploded. I mean, that's got to be, 40, 50 stitches right there?
Ooh.
So he now needs several skin graft operations to save his arms, but can't undergo surgery until his infection clears up. And so this operation would require a vascular surgeon, a plastic surgeon, and a reconstructive surgeon. He started injecting the synthol into his arms back in 2017, but they reportedly caused tissue fibrosis followed by necrosis as his body rejected the chemical.
Wow.
I look at things like this, Brian, and I say, maybe we don't deserve to survive as a species.
I don't know about that. I just think he does not deserve to survive. I think as a species we're all right.
You think so?
Mhm.
All right, I'll take your
I
word
mean,
on it.
we've got some great trustworthy high school football coaches. You know, they're high school football coaches are holding up the weight of society on their shoulders. If it wasn't for
But
them, we would collapse.
only the undefeated football coaches. The rest, not so much.
Absolutely. There were,
All right.
the post was like, please let it be a migrant. Please let it be an undocumented migrant from Venezuela who killed this man.
Dear Lord, Rupert Murdoch was kneeling
Sure.
by his bed at night and saying, "Dear Satan, who I have spent so much time worshiping, if it can't be a migrant, please let it be a Latino or a Black person. Just don't let the white man be guilty."
Don't let the white man be guilty.
All right. Next up, Brian. This is influencer Keith Castillo, who goes by POV Woofy on TikTok and Instagram. He went viral this week when he handed out 18-inch machetes and booze to homeless people in Austin and New Orleans. And a bizarre stunt he insisted was for their benefit. Not quite sure why. But a caption read, keeping the homeless in the streets. The stainless steel Gordon brand machetes were still wrapped in packaging. He apparently purchased them in bulk from online retailer Harbor Freight for less than $5 each. I didn't know you could get machetes that cheap.
I didn't realize that either. I will say this from my Instagram algorithm, a machete is a pretty effectual hand-to-hand combat weapon.
Yes.
You see a lot of guys coming to throw punches and they've got a knife or whatever. If you're holding like a good 2.5 foot machete and you can chop. I mean, there's that famous video of the two guys that got into a fight. One guy had a machete. Guy literally took off the guy's hand. And then the guy finished fighting. And then you see the guy walk back to pick up his hand. And he's walking around holding it. Like a machete is a pretty dope weapon. Obviously, I don't condone what this kid is doing. But he's wearing a shirt that says Jesus loves you. So, he's got to be legitimate. And he's on his way to New York, if I'm not correct.
Apparently. So he says he is on a nationwide tour, which began in October. He is currently in Little Rock, Arkansas, where he is once again handing out alcohol and machetes to the homeless. He says, quote, I travel around, bulk record in one city, and then for my safety, go to another city, do the same thing there for 2 weeks, and kind of like travel around. He has plans to go to Vegas, Skid Row in LA, and he says that he should be in New York come this January. So clear off your calendar in January, Brian. We're going to need to be on the streets of New York City to see how this all plays out.
Ron, say he does go to Philly adjacent. You see him walking down the street and he offers you a machete. Would you take it?
I mean, I don't have a machete. And to your point,
I don't either.
I think it would be kind of cool to have a machete. So I
would take the machete. And I guarantee you, there is no string of words that we could put together that would allow either of our wives to sit there and say, oh, I understand why you took the machete. I understand it now. Like there's no explanation we could put together, no sentences or paragraphs. There's no way we could put together words that would cause them to
not to disagree with you, but I think I could make the argument that, I've got the backyard. I've got a lot of bushes and trees out there. I think I could say, oh, I needed the machete to do work on the bushes and trees out in the yard.
Well, if that's the argument, I could say that I needed to do the bush that's growing under my armpits.
Ooh, that's a good angle to take.
Oh God, machete is like right through a bone. That shit will go right through a bone. The Mexican cartel. Oh yeah, no frogs would survive a machete.
No.
The Mexican cartels love machetes.
They do.
They do that. Oh, it's amazing. Amazing.
So,
It's also
so
a very
Brian,
good third world weapon. Yeah.
you mentioned before the show that you would like to take a trip to one of your favorite segments, one we haven't visited in a while, and that's Ask Ron. Let
Yes.
me know
Okay.
what you would like to ask me, Brian.
Okay. You know that I am a firm believer and supporter of online advice columns. I love reading them. I love to kind of, not only does it, do I half believe that these aren't real articles, real questions, like for Dear Abby, perfect example. This week's Dear Abby wanted to get your idea on what it was. Dear Abby, hold on, let me get the microphone because I want to do this properly. Dear Abby, my child Logan is the product of a sexual assault. He has located his father and formed a relationship with him. Logan didn't know the circumstances of his conception at the time he contacted his father. He has now been made fully aware by our family as to what happened. Abby, Logan has invited this person to his wedding. I do not want to attend if his father will be present. Logan has told me that this man will be attending and that the problem is my issue. I love my son, but this is beyond traumatic for me. I want to be there for the special day, but I cannot bring myself to be in the same room with the person who assaulted me. The situation has broken my heart. I feel as though my feelings don't matter to Logan and that he expects me to just push through this, go to the wedding, and deal with it. What are your thoughts? Signed, worst case scenario. Ron, if you were Abby, how would you answer this?
So I think this woman may have a bit of a point there. I think maybe the misstep was not in informing her son of the situation. Like, you would have to imagine at some point prior to Logan reaching out and trying to find his dad, he probably asked about his father. And I think maybe she should have told him at some point, like, listen, this is the story. This is why your dad isn't in your life. I do think it's very insensitive. If I were this guy's bride to be, I'd be a little concerned with that as well. What did Abby say?
Let's see Dear worst case scenario, your son's insensitivity to your feelings is appalling. That he would demand you ignore the fact that you are a rape victim and spend even a minute in the perpetrator's presence is outrageous. Whatever your decision you make to move forward is the right one for you. I am so sorry for your pain, which is palpable.
There you go. Abby and I agree.
You agree?
Speaking of stories from the internet, and I meant to forward this TikTok video to you, but it was longer than 30 seconds, so I didn't think you would watch it the entire way through.
I won't watch it.
But it was a podcast that had found this this "Am I the Asshole" post on Reddit, and it was talking about this woman who had been dating this guy, and she asked if she was the asshole for not supporting this business plan he came up with. So the business plan he came up with was something called soup tubes, Brian. If I say soup tube, what's the initial thought you think about this?
I'm thinking that it is some kind of a plastic container that he's going to pour soup in.
Keep making that motion. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a plastic tube of some type. He's going to pour soup, seal it, that you can then microwave it up to heat it.
You're thinking of like Go-Gurt for soup.
Yes.
That is what I thought when they initially mentioned soap tubes. No, so soup tubes. This guy's idea was that he would contract with local municipalities to run piping from a central location in the cities into people's homes so that you could have a subscription-based soup service that would be delivered to your house via these soup tubes. And you would have to have multiple tubes, of course, in case you wanted to subscribe to multiple soups. And apparently,
keep going.
This guy that she was
dating
was very hurt when she would not donate money to this business plan of his.
Now, my question is: are we talking about like a faucet where somebody just turns like a little nozzle and the soup comes out into a bowl? Or are we talking these tubes are similar to like those the bank deposit tubes where you would pull your car up to the outdoor bank drive-in, enter your cash deposit, seal up the tube, stick, and then have it get sucked into the bank.
I think more the first one, because she talked about how part of his plan would be to talk cities into repurposing some of the plumbing in the city municipalities to run pipe through the tubes into people. So I would assume you would have a faucet or a spigot or a tap of some sort to get your soup.
Yeah, I'm going to take a hard pass on that. She is not the asshole. He's an idiot.
Good enough. Good enough. Brian, before we run out of time here, let's make sure we get to our favorite feature this time of year, our NFL Locks of the Week.
Locks.
Locks.
Brian, I mean, again, it goes without saying. You looked at Baltimore. They were -7 versus the Bengals, the late game on Thanksgiving. You said, my man, Joey B is back, starting quarterback for the Bengals. Give me Cincinnati +7. You didn't need them. Cincinnati won outright, 32-14. You did the same thing with the Houston-Indianapolis game. You said Houston +3.5. But I don't think I'll need the points. And you did not. Houston winning 20-16 as you extend your record to 26-0. As we often say each week, how the hell do you do it?
I do it by looking at you, by studying the subtleties of the sport that you look at. Ron, if you're going to be throwing accolades my direction, I can only put up a mirror so that you can see you also are a champion. Ron, you also went 2-0 this week. You also are 26-0. You are also perfect for the season. You saw the Buccaneers laying 6.5 over the Cardinals and said, I like the Bucs, but not that much. Give me the Cardinals. Buccaneers win only by 3. Also, a laugher out west, the LA Chargers 8.5 over the Raiders. You sat there and said, lay those points. The Raiders are shite. Chargers win 31-14. Ron, before I can even just put into words how I do it, how do you do it?
Listen, you, as I have often said, you push me to be a better man each and every week on this podcast, and this is no different.
At that point, I think we have to ask the question, who do you have next week, Ron?
Next week, I like Seattle on the road at Atlanta -7.5, and I like Cleveland at home -3.5 versus Tennessee. Brian, who do you like?
I am a fan of these two picks. Packers -6 over the Bears. Bears look good this week. They're not going to do it 2 weeks in a row. Also, Bengals look good this week. They're not going to do it again, not for 2 weeks in a row. Bills -6 over the Bengals. You lay those points in both games.
All right. And Philadelphia Eagles fans, not happy after Friday's game against the Bears. Lots of booing in the city. A lot of fair weather fans here in Philadelphia, it seems. The team is still in first place, still has a 95% chance of making the playoffs.
Sure. You will make the playoffs. I think people just, when you're a Super Bowl champion, people expect a little bit more out of you.
You expect a little more oomph, a little bit more giddy up, if you will.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Let's see if we
Joe,
can.
Even Joe right here, WTF. She doesn't understand why the Eagles are not winning more this year.
Listen, Joe knows ball. We have said that very often.
We know this. Joe Balls.
Just proves it right again. Next up, Brian, a family feud between 3 brothers at a secluded upstate hunting cabin turned deadly when one of them lost his cool and opened fire. This is Scott Thompson, age 65, of Englewood, Florida. He was in upstate Allegheny County last week when he got into an argument with siblings, Mark Thompson, age 70, and David Thompson, age 69, and shot both of his brothers dead. When things reached a boiling point, he then took off from the cabin, which is about 70 miles southeast of Buffalo, but was busted after the Livingston County Sheriff's Office and Geneseo Police Department tracked down his brother's car, which he had used as an escape vehicle. He has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of criminal use of a firearm. Sad story
Ron,
here in upstate New York.
Ron, these are the stories that remind me of why I had to move out of New York State. I mean, it is a lawless, lawless land. People think they can just get away with anything.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, I loved this story. We can get rid of this gentleman here. So let me pull this up. This is a story. We're going to go over to Italy for this one, where a man cosplayed as his mother to collect her pension benefits. This is as his mother's body mummified in his house. So let's take a look at this. We're going to pull this photo up, and you can see how good he looked as a woman. That was his mom on the left, him on the right. The unnamed 56-year-old man left the body of his dead body of his 82-year-old mother, Graziella Dallaglio, to mummify as he pulled off this scam in order to keep cashing her pension checks. The unemployed nurse transformed himself into his mother to dupe authorities into giving him his mother's pension check and even a brand new updated AD. He was reportedly bringing in around $61,000 a year from his mom's pension fund, along with his family investments in real estate and land.
Oofa. I gotta say, there's a part of me that, like, as long as you didn't kill your mother or your parent or your relative, whatever, and you're just scamming the system, it's a part of me that kind of says kudos to you.
I mean, there was no reports of foul play when they found his mother's corpse. So the assumption is she just passed away and he just wanted to collect the checks.
And I'm also going to say this to you. It says a lot about elderly Italian women. He could pass. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that he looks exactly like his mother, but I'm saying like that walks into a store and I'm saying, hello, ma'am, how are you doing today?
Well, apparently a registry office clerk felt that he had quite masculine features and didn't quite appear to be 82 years old. That employee then alerted officials, who launched an internal investigation, and they compared a recent photo with an expired ID from a decade ago and became more suspicious.
You hate a snitch. You absolutely hate a snitch.
Snitches get stitches. I don't know how you say that in Italian. Brian,
yes.
We would be remiss if we didn't tell people that they should give themselves an early Christmas present by subscribing to our Patreon. If you go to cultofronandbrian.com, you click in the upper right-hand corner, you can join. Listen, there is a free subscription where you get some information, but you can join for as low as $5 a month. At the $10 a month level, you get access to our After Dark, which is exclusive content that we'll do at 9:30 tonight. Typically, it is 30 minutes, but on the last Sunday of the month, we do a full hour. We do a pajama party. We have all of our Patreon subscribers on, and we do a trivia contest. Tonight is Can You Beat Brian? Brian, how do you feel? You don't know the topic. The topic will not be revealed until it is revealed to the group in about 27 minutes.
I am going to start off this. I'm going to set expectations low. I don't expect to win. 2 months ago, we played this game. I got off to an incredible start against William Esquire and then tragically collapsed to a point where, if I remember correctly, Billy was mentioning it like 4 weeks afterwards. And it was humbling. It was absolutely humbling. I want to set low expectations so people are not surprised when I do not win. I'm going to just do my best, and I hope my best is good enough.
And last month, when Brian put together the Can You Beat Ron, he put together a topic thinking that I wouldn't know anything about it. Almost swept the entire.
You crushed it. You crushed it. You crushed it. I think you got 8 out of 10 right. It was embarrassing.
But I don't feel it was fair to the other competitors because you made a guess of something that I wouldn't know, forgetting, Brian, that I know everything. That's how I get to be
You
champ, Brian.
don't
I've got
know
that belt
shit.
back there, and I've got that belt right there.
Ron, you don't know shit.
Well,
Sorry.
one thing I do know, Brian, tomorrow is December 1st, and that means
Yes.
one thing. We are going to start taking entries for our 2026 death pool. We do this every single year. We ask you to pick 20 names of people that
20
you feel
names,
will
20
pass
names.
away in the next calendar year. So we will send that link out to everybody that has signed up this year. We will put it on our social media pages, and all you have to do is fill that out by midnight on December 31st. I believe Andrew H., multiple time winner of the Deadpool, currently has about a 30-point lead over his closest competition. So we've got a month left to go. Can he hold on and win yet again? Brian, your thoughts. You are our death pool expert here. How does it make you feel watching this type of performance in our lifetime?
Ron, it's like watching an omakase chef in a 3-star Michelin restaurant. Watching Andrew H. just dominate the death pool year after year. There is something about this man. He is the Grim Reaper. He can sniff out celebrity deaths before they happen in a way that nobody else can. It is like watching Joe DiMaggio go on a 56-game hitting streak. It's like watching Ted Williams bat .409. It is like Tony Dorsett running 99 yards to the house for a touchdown. It's just like it is watching a master of their craft excelling. I love watching it. I love our I love what that man can do. I mean, it's so impressive, to see somebody finally, at whatever stage of their life, identify what they are better than everyone else at. Everybody has that thing. Everybody's got that thing where they are better than everybody else. Some people it's sports, some people it's intellectual stuff, some people it's online gaming. Me, it's penis size. And it's just Andrew H. He can win death pools. Just amazing.
Do you think Billy will score any points prior to midnight on December 31st?
Not this year. Maybe next year. But
All
Billy
right.
will not get any points this year.
Well, keep an eye out. Again, you don't have to enter right away, but we're making it available to you if you've been keeping a list. And again, get it done by midnight on December 31st. Brian, anything else before we wrap up this episode and get ready for the pajama party?
I need to go prepare. I need to go prepare for After Dark. I need to prepare for Can You Be Brian? I have to get into a good headspace. I need to get myself another one of these beers.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. Patreon folks, we will see you shortly. Everyone else, we will see you next week.
Thank you for joining us for the latest episode of The Cult of Ron and Brian. A non-tax deductible contribution can be made by subscribing to our Patreon. Visit cultofronandbrian.com and click on Become a Patron. We'll see you again next week.